So how does these 5 undiagnosed autistic traits affect you? If you're an adult and you've experienced one of these traits, go comment below after this video your experiences on one of these traits. Let's get straight into the video. So the first thing we're going to be covering is stimming. So stimming is a way to release the tension. So it can be through any part of your body. It could be your hands, it could be your head, it could be your face, it could be your neck, it could be anything. One of my stims I used to have as a child was moving my hands around a lot and also jumping up and down. So that was one of my ways of trying to release this energy that I had inside of me, because I didn't have any other way of releasing that energy. I would start stimming more if I felt awkward or I was in a social situation. So that leads us on to number 2, which is awkward in social interactions. So the way we could look awkward in a social interaction is not making eye contact, maybe making too much eye contact, not having the correct body language. So maybe you're turned away from them and talking, and your body's away from them but you're talking to them, or you're fumbling on your words and you can't seem to get your words out correctly, and that makes everyone feel awkward. So that's the second autistic trait for undiagnosed autistic adults. I think that's the most obvious one. Especially when they're doing something very out of the ordinary. That's how you can really tell, okay, yes, he or she might be an undiagnosed autistic adult. I think the biggest problem that I've found with social interactions is there's no real logical order. So I used to get very confused on how to set up my communication. So that leads us on to number 3, which is order. We need order. If we don't have a specific role, if we don't know exactly what we're gonna do, so say, okay, number 1 do this, number 2 do that, well then we're gonna be more confused, and it's gonna be very difficult to lead on to the next thing. Not procrastinate. Or for the 4th instant, this is the 4th point, which is overwhelm. So if you get overwhelmed, you could fit into one of these 3 categories, which is shutting down, you could have a meltdown, or you could have withdrawals. So we'll get into that real quick, what all 3 mean and what they are. So number 1, meltdown is just a general meltdown. So you could just lash out. Like, you could just be like, oh, physically you'll lash out, you won't be there, you'll be very unaware of your surroundings, and that could cause maybe you to hit someone, or that could cause maybe you to cry, or it depends on the emotion that the way you react. It's different for everyone. I've had a lot of these before in the past, and they are not good. So number 2, which is shut down. So shut down is just you just can't move, you can't do anything, you physically can't, you're not capable, you just don't feel like you're there, you don't want to do anything, you can't physically do anything, because your mind is just so overwhelmed and so out of place, because it's so full. Your mind is so full, you're just not there. So you end up anything can happen, really. You can just stand there just blankly, you just do nothing, and not really move at all, or you just can't process anything. So you don't listen to what people are saying, you don't understand what's going on, you're just there. And then the 3rd one is withdrawals, which is just like, say you have a favorite activity you do or favorite task. This is the best way to explain it, by the way. You might not do that task because you just can't because I don't know, you're so overwhelmed, you just can't do any of these things. Or also, say in a relationship term, well, if you have a withdrawal from that, well, maybe you don't speak to your partner because you're just that overwhelmed, and that could lead to other problems. So the fifth one is inconsistent skill sets. So, for example, I'm really good at racing because I really enjoy racing. I really like to be behind the wheel. But if I go do something like what my brother does, well, I'm not that good at it because I know I don't enjoy it, and also I just, some motor, like my fine motor skills aren't that good. They're not that great. But I know if I put my mind and heart into it, I can get good at it. So for example, with racing, I know exactly what to do because I've put my feeling into it. I haven't just gone out there and learned how to drive. I can feel everything. It's more of a feeling than a do. So if I do something and I put my feeling into it and I feel everything about it, I'm more likely to do better at it. Where if I just don't care and I do something to the same level as my brother, well, I'm not going to be able to do it because my brother's fine motor skills with sports is better than mine, and that's just how it is, I guess. Pretty much with that one, it's inconsistent skills. So you could be really good at something that a lot of people aren't good at, and then you could also be really bad at something that a lot of people are good at. So it's a fine line. That's one of the main traits. So this is a bonus one, which is, if you've stuck to the end of this video, thank you so much. So this bonus one is probably the most obvious one, but they're just different. You're different, and you know that. When I was a kid, I used to always feel this. I always used to know. I remember sitting in class and just like staring at the wall and thinking, nah, I have to be different. There's no way. Why do people think of me like this? Why do... Whoa! That is a bird. That is a bird. That got really close. That was a magpie. That just swooped me. I'm going to keep that in my video. That's okay. You're going to see me freak out. Anyway. Yeah, pretty much. I thought it was back. That's okay. He's not here. I'm walking away. So pretty much, yeah, I always thought I was just different. I wasn't like everyone else, but I just couldn't figure out why until I got the diagnosis when I was older. And that's why, if you're really considering getting a diagnosis, if you just feel like the odd one out, and it is beneficial to get a diagnosis. Hope you like this video. Subscribe to watch more weekly content on educational videos about autism. Thank you.